Hello, I'm Luke Campbell, CEO and co-founder of Vtx, a mobile app with thousands of users in Australia and New Zealand. I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars with my pitch. I'm 23 and I'm a judge and mentor for the Young Enterprise Scheme. Today, I'd like to talk about your business presentation. So we're going to go over a few things quickly in this talk today. We'll start off with your presentation structure. We'll go over a few kind of guidelines for presentation style, and then I'll finish up with some quick tips. Cool. So kicking us off, this part of the talk will basically just be going through a list, like a few key things that you should definitely include in any business pitch that you're giving. And I'll give you some tips and tricks for each kind of section as well. So starting off, you'll kick into your business presentation, right, with an intro, of course. Here, you just want to introduce your team, who's on your team, just really quickly, and your business's name, and potentially a tagline. For us, I'll give you our introduction actually. So, tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Luke, and I'm the CEO of Vtx, the smart assistant for small business. It's that simple. You don't necessarily need to say everyone's names. Just make sure they're on the slide. Moving right along, the start of kind of any presentation should be the problem that you're looking to solve with your business. So what's broken? Explaining the problem might be one of the most important sections of any business pitch. It's the start of the story that you're trying to create in your audience's mind. For us, we started off talking about the problem that my character, Dan, experiences in his kind of work and business life. He gets a lot of calls when he's working and he can't answer his phone. So he gets heaps of voicemail. And voicemail sucks. It's slow, inconvenient, and inefficient. So make sure when you introduce the problem that you're looking to solve, that you also lay out some evidence and reinforcement to make it obvious and clear to your audience and the judges that this problem is a real thing and it exists. So the next one, of course, is your solution. So this is it's what you're doing, right? So how are you going to fix the problem that you laid out in the first section of your business pitch? This is where you explain the particular solution you're working on and how it solves the problem. For us, this section was pretty short. In the early days especially, our mobile app was really simple. All it did was convert your voicemail to text. Now we've got a few other things in there. It also allows you to forward your voicemail via email. We also use some artificial intelligence to do a bunch of other cool stuff as well. If your idea is a little bit more complicated, you might want to spend some more time on this particular area of your pitch. But if it's simple, just explain it and move on. It's that simple. Cool. So the next one is competition. It's another pretty hard section to get right for most people. In this kind of section, you really want to drill down into what your unique selling point is. What's different about you, your team, and your business that other companies don't have. For us, this is about who our target market is. It is about particular features that we had that our competitors didn't, and it's about our team. You know, we're a young team and a technology company, and we're able to build things and change the way our business works really quickly. And that's what made us different. That's why our customers decided to use us instead of the alternative. So the next section is your business model. And so how do you make money? It's that simple, right? So for us, again, it's a pretty simple one. Our business model is a freemium subscription service. That means we provide our mobile app for free, and we try to convert our free users to paid subscriptions. If you're selling a product, it could be as simple as this is the product we have, and this is how much we sell it for. Again, with most of these sections, if the way you make money is a little bit more complicated, you might want to spend more time here. But if it's simple, just explain it and move on. So the next one, market size. This can be a useful slide to put after your business model, especially if you've used your price point to calculate your market size. Maybe you've taken a value from a scientific study or an article online for your market size, and then it might be a little bit more flexible as to where you put the slide. But yeah, so going into the details, basically, what's the total opportunity for your company? If everything went perfectly, if you were able to get every single customer in your market, how much is your business worth? The next slide can depend pretty significantly on what your business is and where you're at in terms of the stage of your company. If you're a little bit early on, if you, and this is probably where most of you guys are, you probably don't have sales or users or what have you. You don't necessarily have that really solid traction and evidence that people are willing to pay you for what you're doing. So in that case, you might want to focus on what your plan is. When are you going to launch your company? And maybe when is your company going to become profitable? If you have a product that you're able to sell already, then that's fantastic. And maybe you don't need to put so much focus on what your plan is. It could be really valuable to focus on what you've already achieved and the proof you already have that this is a really cool business idea. Right, so what's next is your team. And this is a super important part of your presentation. Who's in your team and what are you guys good at? Why are you such a great fit for the business that you're working on? Are you passionate about the cause, the problem that you're trying to solve? Or are you an expert in the area that you're working in? In a really popular TED Talk by Bill Gross, he suggested that the team behind a startup company accounts for 32% of the difference between a startup's likelihood for success and failure. So obviously, your team can make a really huge impact on what happens with your company. For us, we're a team of 10 young people kind of spread at the moment throughout New Zealand. With the lockdown, a lot of my teammates have kind of gone home. So we've got our core team on the slide because it would probably be a bit of a squeeze to put everyone on there. And then we've also got an advisory board made up of some really awesome leaders in the software industry and the telecommunications industry as well. So if you've got some mentors that you find working with really, really good and really productive, it might be a good idea to ask them if they're willing to jump on your advisory board, especially if they know a lot about the area that you're working in. It can bring a lot of credibility to your presentation and can be really useful in convincing the judges whether or not you guys are the right team for this. So kind of the last section that most business presentations will cover is an ask. What do you want from your audience? Do you want them to purchase the product you're selling? Or do you want them to invest in your company so you can get to the next stage? For us, we launched a fundraising campaign in February. So we are currently raising $500,000. So for us, our business pitch usually ends with that ask. But for you, it could be something totally different. For you, it might be, give us high marks in the Young Enterprise Scheme so we can go into regionals or nationals, right? Cool. So that covers off presentation structure. Now, it's not a perfect list. There might be sections that you want to cover that I haven't included there. And it can be, really valuable to go into things that are more important for your business. So it definitely depends on what you're doing. So don't consider that list exhaustive, but I think it's a really good template and a really good starting point for building your presentation. Cool. So one of the things I want to touch on in presentation style is the speed at which you speak. Hopefully you're not running around. So you're going to want to speak a lot slower when you're talking about things that are really important, and it's really important for you to communicate those particular points clearly. It's easy when you're nervous and speaking in front of a lot of people to talk really fast, but it makes it hard to understand what you're saying. So make sure you're slowing down, especially when it matters most. Volume, right? So speak loudly. One of the things that I notice a lot of people do is they, again, it comes down to nerves. People speak a little bit more quiet, and it can be hard to hear. So make sure you're speaking at an appropriate volume, especially if you've got a larger, audience. There's people far in the back of the room, and maybe you don't have a mic, so you want to, project your voice so that you're keeping everyone's attention. But we use cadence. So vary the tone at which you're speaking. Again, it's another one of those things, a lot like the other 2 points I've mentioned. It helps to entertain the people who are listening to you. So you're not monotone throughout the entire presentation. It's probably one of the parts of presentation style that people get wrong most. I've definitely been guilty of it myself, and it's really hard to know if you're speaking in a monotone way or not, right? So, record yourself with your phone, or present in front of your family and friends and ask them to give you feedback on this one and all of the other points too. Design. So design of your presentation slides is another really important thing. I've got some examples here, right? So a bad presentation slide has a lot of information, and it's, distracting from what you're saying. A presentation slide that's designed well should supplement the things that you're saying. It shouldn't be the same. It shouldn't be a script for you or anything else like that. So right here, I've got an example from one of our pitches. It's just simple. Voicemail is slow, inconvenient, and inefficient. So a few final tips. Practice a lot. I've probably practiced some kind of iteration of our business pitch over 2,000 times by now. We've been working on our company for about 18 months, so I've had heaps of time to practice, and it's super important. For me in particular, I usually like to have our business pitch fully scripted. So that means I've got to practice a lot to remember it, especially because, every couple of weeks, every month or whatever, the pitch is going to change quite a bit. So I've got to practice all of the new parts until I can remember them really well. It's something that helps me be confident when I'm going to present to new people, or just giving a presentation in general, making sure that I know it so well that it doesn't matter what happens, I'll be able to remember, the words that come next. Get traction. So one of the most compelling things in a business presentation is a startup or a team that has, sales or survey responses from potential customers who think that the business idea is really cool and they'd be willing to pay for the thing that your team is building. Traction is super compelling. The winners of the Young Enterprise Scheme nationally often aren't the team that has the best pitch. It's the team that has the most traction. Maybe they've got sales and just a compelling business proposition in general. So do your best to get some traction before you present in any of the semi-finals and whatever else. Keep it simple. There's a famous quote that goes something along the lines of, if you can't explain it to your grandma and have her understand, then you don't understand it well enough yourself. And maybe to put that in the context of a presentation, if your grandma can't understand your pitch, then you need to dumb it down a little bit, because it's important that it's as clear as it possibly can be for everyone in the audience. And last but not least, have fun. right? You want to have fun in everything you're doing, so make sure to bring that into your startup, your company, your business as well. Cool. So that kind of brings this talk to an end. What I'll do next is I'll attach a video of a recent presentation that I gave to investment community in Christchurch on the end of this, so you guys can see me delivering a pitch and maybe pull some inspiration from that as well. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Luke and I'm the CEO of Vtx, the smart assistant for small business. This is Dan. He's a plumber who runs his own small business. When potential customers call him, he's often busy working under a sink, so his voicemail gets clogged up with messages throughout the day. But if he doesn't get back to his customers quickly, he loses business. Dan hates voicemail because it's slow, inconvenient, and inefficient. He'd stop using it if he could, but that's how his customers reach him. And this is why we built Vtx. Vtx software allows Dan to easily read and manage his incoming messages in the app. Using Vtx, our customers are able to respond to their clients faster than the competition. But voicemail is just the start. Voicemail to text is becoming more common, but managing messages is just one problem small business owners face. In conversations with our users, we identified other time-consuming problems that we can solve with smart tools which will set us apart in international markets. We'll utilize in-house machine learning and natural language processing to automate bookings and prioritize messages for our users, which are defendable points of difference for our service. Our business model is a monthly subscription service. We offer a free plan and 2 paid plans, which provide access to exclusive features. And there's a huge market opportunity. Our initial target market have been the 70,000 small business owners who are tradespeople in New Zealand. While our competitors are focused on solutions for enterprise and the mass market, our focus on small business and defensible IP is allowing us to capitalize on a $3 billion global opportunity. We have already gained over 2,500 active users and a strong base of paid customers. More recently, we have focused on improving our conversion rate from free to paid plans. And we're seeing sustained growth in our active subscriber numbers. And that's because people love Vtx. But of course, I would say that. Here's what our users are saying themselves. Stephanie loves Vtx because it saves her heaps of time and means she never misses a message. Our team is dedicated to solving time-consuming problems for small business owners, and we've proven our ability to do so. We are recruiting leaders in telecommunications and software for our advisory board. We're a part of a program run by Google where up to $150,000 of our costs are covered. We were also one of just 5 companies in New Zealand to be selected for the Vodafone Zone Accelerator program for 2020. We are raising $400,000 minimum to launch in 3 additional target international markets by November and develop a strong paid customer acquisition strategy. We've already had $130,000 committed to our round so far. So if you'd like to be a part of our journey, please get in touch soon. Thanks.